Well, welcome to another edition of the Sunday Bunch, and I want to start by wishing you all a happy new year. I hope you all had a great new year, and I hope the new year is going to be great for you all. So, if you fancy a Sunday lunch, after we've been to the Sunday Bunch, get yourself down to the Hastings Hill pub and get a lovely carvery from George and the team. And a big thank you to George for letting us use this fantastic studio. We're actually in the studio today, not in the conservatory with the big Christmas tree. So, I want to start today by welcome to the panel. We've got Dino the cameraman, fantastic job. Sean Middleton, great interviews. And Michael, Jacob Kirkbride. I haven't seen you for a long time, Jacob. Since yesterday.
Absolutely buzzing.
So before we get on with the great match yesterday, the great victory against Lincoln City, I want to talk a bit about Fleetwood Town. But before we talk about the match, I want to get into the predictions. Well, I predicted a 3-1 victory, which was wrong. Sean, you predicted?
2-1. Just one.
Dino?
1-0 Sunderland.
And the ever modest Michael Bowers predicted the 1s apiece, and we fully said 2-0 to Sunderland as well. So Michael, well done to you. 10 points for you. So I'm going to go on to Jacob first. Jacob, what was your thoughts on the Fleetwood match? After the Doncaster match, was Fleetwood a bit of a letdown? Was it hard lines? Or we're just unlucky with the penalty decision?
Oh, absolute letdown. I mean, you look at the chances we missed in that game. We should be taking 3 points when you watch the highlights back. I mean, that one that 09 missed second half, you should be absolutely burying that chance. And Chris Maguire had that shot that was tipped onto the post, wasn't it, by the keeper. And I think if we'd won that game, and obviously with the win we had yesterday, we'd be in the playoffs right now. So a missed opportunity, but there is a lot of more team spirit in the squad at the minute compared to what there has been the previous few weeks. So going into this very difficult month, I should say, then all in high spirits at the moment. So
I think the 09 was a bit unlucky. I watched it a few times. The pass was just slightly behind him, and I think it kind of stubs his toe. So it gets under the ball and goes over the top. If the ball was just maybe 6 inches further forward, I think he would have buried it.
Yeah, Fleetwood's pitch is a bit off the scale, isn't it? It's not quite up to scratch compared to some of the other pitches in this league.
What was your thoughts on the penalty decision?
Oh, absolute disgrace. I mean, it just sums up the amount of poor refereeing that goes on in this league in general, to be fair. I mean, that happens 90% of corner kicks you watch in this league, and we just had a bad luck of the draw where a penalty's given for a reason I just really don't know. I've watched it back a dozen times. I'm still trying to figure out why it was given. I mean, it's just that happens all the time. If you're going to give a penalty like that, you might as well give at least 5 or 6 a game.
But the other toss of the coin is that the other side of the coin is that we had plenty of time to come back. So if we were good enough, we could have won that match, really, couldn't we?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, looking back at could that be a game that could potentially come back to haunt us at the end of the season? We'll look back on that game. If we got 3 points, would have that potentially changed our fortunes around? We don't know, but
I think there's other games that were more nightmares than that game.
Yeah.
We've dropped plenty of points already this season, I don't think we can sort of blame, for me anyway, personally, my opinion is we can't really blame Fleetwood match dropping 2 points if we don't go up this season. So Sean, what was your take on the Fleetwood game?
Well, the penalty, Jesus, it's just another example of how poor the referees are in this league. I mean, I watched it back about 5 or 6 times and I was like, how the hell has he give that a penalty? When the ball guns up and there's just 2 of them gun for the ball 50-50, that's all it was. I'm thinking, how's the referee giving a penalty for that? It's absolutely disgusting, that But you see, there was enough time in the game to claw back, and if we were more clinical enough in front of goal, we would have won the game. I don't know how 09 missed that chance. Was a pullback by Gooch or
yeah, Gucci.
And 09 should have buried it. But our penalty as well. I mean, that wasn't even in the box. I was not seeing, but swings and roundabouts. But I mean, you'll tat it. I mean, because I think the referees probably looked at that one and saying, "What more?" And I was just outside. He probably thought, "This is my chance to maybe redeem myself." Because he'd have seen that at half time. He'd have seen that penalty and everything. He's got to look back and went, I've made a massive mistake there.
I kind of thought the one ball was on the line or just inside. I slowed it down on my computer and I watched it thoroughly, and I thought it was just contact on the line or just in?
No, that was just out.
And then obviously he went about 6 yards inside the box when he dived. I mean, when he fell over, sorry. So,
great penalty from Maguire there as well.
I thought the keeper actually saved it. He got his fingertips to it, didn't he? But thankfully that went in. But I mean, like you say, I didn't look back in this game and it could have been a missed opportunity because, like you say, we were easily the better team in the second half. If we just took our chances, it would have been 3 points, and like you say, it would have been the playoffs.
So, Dean, the penalty decision against us. What was Hume doing, turning around, turning his back against the player, and then sort of walking back into the player? Was it given against Wyke, or was it given against Hume?
Well, it was two of them, wasn't it? It was two of our players, and I would say it was Wyke because Wyke's the one who jumped, and obviously I wouldn't say Wyke's the strongest bloke because I've seen him push a ball. But it's just a 50-50 challenge. There's no elbows in it. Obviously, arms are in the air. For me, Wyke's won it. Their players went down holding his head because, you know, if you go down off a header, everyone holds the head for some reason, even though they don't get touched.
The Joey Barton influence.
Yeah, well, apparently, they're one of the Fleetwood players. One of the Fleetwood fans sent us a message saying he went off at half time because he had a head injury. So there must have been clashes of heads, but obviously, I thought it was just accident.
It's like Jacob said. It happens every single game in every single corner. People jump for headers, but it's never pens or go. It shouldn't have been a pen. Let's be fair. There's nothing malicious. It's a 50-50 and Wyke's won it, and the lads might have clashed his head. He might have banged his head when he hit the floor, but for me, no penalty. But again, referees, terrible, always have been, always will be in this league unless something changes.
The Maguire chance, when he got past his defender and he went there poking into the right hand side of the goal, did the Fleetwood defender came back in and take it off him, or was it Maguire hit it? Because I'm quite sure which one got the ball.
No, Maguire hit it, didn't he? The keeper saved it.
If you look at it carefully, the ball sort of bubbles and moves a bit to the right and comes off the post. It just summed up our luck that game.
For me, Maguire again played brilliant. He had another good game. It's good to see Maguire actually putting in performances now instead of shying away like he has been. Don't get us wrong, that save was unreal. What a save! I mean, I'm not going to take anything like everyone could say Maguire could have hit it harder, he could have dinked the keeper, but you're in that moment and he's hit it, and 9 times out of 10 that probably goes in. But the keeper has got the slightest little touches, and if Maguire just kept going, because he stopped for a second thinking it was probably going to go in, and then obviously the spin from the ball is just just span and it's hit the post. And the 0-9 chance, you've got to think, fine, he should be hitting the target, but it's on his weak foot. He's right-footed, he's hit on his left, and I've seen players on the weak foot miss easier chances than that. So I wouldn't say 0-9 for me. He should be hitting the net, but I'll give him the benefit of the doubt for the simple fact it was on his weak foot. And I'm not going to blame the pitch because, I mean...
He should have scored though, it's dangerous.
I should have scored. He should, if he doesn't score, he's got to hit the target. I'm not going to blame him for that because we had chances. Don't forget, Wyke hit the post in the start of the second half as well.
It almost looked like he wanted to chip the ball instead of put his foot through it.
He went to place it. He went to place it, and...
I mean, Gooch had a good chance as well. His went over the top, didn't it?
What one was that one?
Was it first half?
First half.
I'm sure it was Gooch.
But to be honest,
there was a few chances.
We had a few chances which we don't normally have, and it's actually quite nice to talk about chances, and I don't remember some of them because we had that many. Normally we only have 2 chances in a game and you remember them, but for me we were definitely the better team all around, and it's very rare we can say we were the better team against a team who are actually quite a good team in this league.
Yeah, we had a spell, I think it was in the last few minutes of the game, we were starting to let them back in slightly. They had a few chances, and that's where still our defensive frailties lie. We need to address that problem going into the second half of the season.
So no more thoughts on the game for the defence? I think Lynch had a decent game, or did you think he was injured in that match? That's why he didn't play yesterday.
He could have been carrying an injury. I
thought he was the weakest player, wasn't he?
Apparently it was illness that ruled him out yesterday. Yeah.
Don't get us wrong. He drops out. You do have... And now Flanagan can come in. Don't get us wrong, I'm still not 100% convinced with Flanagan, but he does have his odd good game in him. But I still think we need to address the fact that we definitely need another centre back. Definitely.
Do you think how was Joey Barton? Did he behave himself during the match? Was he on the touchline? Was he sent to the stands?
He was in the stands.
Was he in the stands?
He was in the stands because at half time it showed him standing the thing he wasn't allowed on the touchline because the game before.
He got sent off.
He got sent off, so obviously he was suspended for that game.
But the thing is, like you say, managers still have a lot of influence because they've got radios, they've got phones. Them still make all the decisions. They're just not on the touchline. So if anything, if you want to stop the whole that, you should kick him out the stadium full stop, because he's still technically he picks the team technically still. So for me, you should just kick him out.
So a week ago, if someone said to you 4 points 2 away games, would you have taken that, Dean?
Who did we have? Doncaster and Fleetwood. I'd say yes, because on the form we were going on, I didn't expect we to win any of them really. They were, do you know what I mean? So for me, I say would beat Doncaster, but I didn't think we'd beat Fleetwood. But I was hoping that we would. That's why I say is 1-0. But Fleetwood are a good team and they have turned over on the past. So for me, yes, it's actually quite positive for once.
Definitely, I'd agree. I mean, just what Dean said there. I mean, the games of Christmas, I was thinking Doncaster we are, and us going to Doncaster, I think we're not getting out down there. Fleetwood, Joey Barton have them miled up. So to be fair, 4 points, I think it's good. Like, and we probably could have gotten 6, but 4, it's still good.
Jacob?
Yeah, I think what's happened in that dressing room is because there's been like a whole full negativity going on around the club like over this Christmas period with like the stuff on social media like about the ownership situation. I think what's happened is like Phil Parkinson has addressed these players like go and play with, wouldn't necessarily a bit more freedom, but just like go out and express yourselves like with all this high pressure that's mounting on your shoulders, and the players have shined to it really well.
I think I must admit, if there's only one negative about our team at the minute, I think it lies in the centre midfield. I don't believe our centre midfield does enough. Don't get us wrong, Dobson has stepped up to the plate. He's been playing really well. He's been a standout, but for me, power is really lacking. I don't see what he's offering at the minute.
Pointless power, I call him, mister.
Right, before we move on to yesterday's game where we beat Lincoln 3-1 and we go through the predictions, I want to say get yourself down to the SAFC official shop. I bought this shirt yesterday. I had a choice of going for a pint in the ground of £4.40 or paying £4.99 for a shirt, and it's an absolute no-brainer. Got the shirt, £5, and you can get the official Sunderland away shirt now for £20.20. Well done to the Sunderland shop.
Where's your sponsor?
Sponsor? I'm not sponsored yet, sorry.
Hastings Hill.
I was sponsored a long time ago, but not anymore.
£4.40 for a pint. That's what more or less what I paid back home.
It's about £4.90 in the Hilton Hotel, but you can watch TV, you get good toilet facilities, you got loads of space.
Better in the Tim and in the White Sheaf, though.
That's a bit dubious. Right, yesterday's score predictions. Me and we fully predicted 3-1. Get in!
Lads.
What was your score prediction, Dean?
Was it 2-1?
2-1. So you predicted a victory, and Sean?
3-0.
3-0. So you were close, because their goal, particularly I thought, was just offside, so it could have been 3-0. So yesterday's match, before I have my take on a game of two halves, I'm going to go with Jacob. What was your overall opinion on the first half and then the second half?
I haven't seen such high pressing intensity from our players all season in 145 minutes. Like, you take the second goal, for example, like when they were trying to play out from the back, why teams attempt to do it in this league, I do not know, but that was a reward for just like pure pressing, and I think since Gooch has come back from injury, he's done that superbly.
But it was Maguire who closed everyone down. Maguire was the one who absolutely pressed.
You could tell, like leading up to it, that Gooch was doing it as well. It's just a case of who was going to like win the battle at one's key stage, and Maguire won it that time, and then Gooch was there to just do the easy work and head it into the net.
To be honest, I'm surprised he outjumped that defender as well, because that defender was hard. And to be honest, the keeper was at fault there as well. Twice, because for me the keeper should. If that's John McLaughlin, I think John McLaughlin's he whacks it off the player and then he gets the second ball. The keeper just stood and watched. Bear in mind, I'm glad he did, because we scored.
To be fair though, it obviously bounced off Maguire's head and it went the other way, didn't it? So he sort of.
Well, it went across the goal. So for me, the keeper has got all the time to look up, find where to jump and get it, because he's the tallest player with his hands. But I'm glad he didn't, because Gooch outjumped him, got the goal, and it was like Jacob said, it's nice to see, because your pressing has to start from the front.
Yeah.
If Gooch, Maguire and Wyke press, then that gives everyone the incentive to get up and press as well.
So your thoughts on the first half then, Dean, and we'll talk about the second half in a minute.
Class. Can't fault the lads at all. everyone put a work in, even though sometimes the quality is lacking. But I could see what we're trying to do. We're getting balls in the box. White was winning some of these duels. I'm still not White's biggest fan, even though he's probably a lovely bloke, but I'm still not his biggest fan. But he played well yesterday. He was he didn't hold the ball. He was, instead of holding it, he was just giving it off first time, so he didn't have to hold it. He was moving around, he was closing down. Gooch Maguire, it's good to see them two playing, because I can't believe I'm actually saying this. We've missed Gooch. And I thought last season, Gooch was terrible in a way last season. He had his spells, but I thought, like Mike likes to say, he's got no game intelligence. He always hangs on it for too long. Midfield, Dobson again, I thought he was outstanding. I thought the back three, I thought Flanagan, when he sat someone down on his arse, I thought...
Clive turn.
But for me, Flanagan lets that go to his head because then he thinks he's a better player than he is, and then he starts making mistakes. And that showed in the second half, but first half, I cannot fault the lads to a T.
Sean?
I think that was probably the best. I mean, take the Tranmere game out of the equation. I think that was probably the best first half of the season. Yesterday, I think we were just at it from the first whistle. I like the way, like you say, the desire was there, the determination, focus. They were high press, pressing everything down, chasing everything down. I mean, like, see that goal. I mean, could you say that happened a few weeks ago?
No.
Maguire putting the shift in, chasing the defender down, then chasing the keeper down. That's where the goal come from. Just high intensity pressing. Like, see, I think the full team played well. Flanagan had a good game. I think the formation we played, I mean, a 3-4.
It's starting to work a bit now, isn't it? I think players are starting to understand it.
3-4-3. I mean, I was like against 3 at the back, but looking at it now, it looks alright. And I mean, we scored 3 goals. It could have been more. I mean, I was thinking at half time, thinking we could 4, 5, 6. But to be honest, it was the game was effectively won in the first half.
Second half?
I think it was a case of because of the compact fixture list you get over the Christmas period, like the tiredness was kicking in, and like I think to be fair, I was a bit surprised that Parkinson didn't make more substitutions to refresh some legs a little bit, throw on McNulty, a little more pace up front.
Do you believe that he doesn't really have faith in his bench, because he always leaves it to the last 10 minutes, 12 minutes? I mean, that's quite late when your players are absolutely shattered.
I think as well, I think obviously I'm going to game for a week, so he probably thought they're going to have a bit of respite before the next game. He probably thinking that as well.
But do you reckon, Jacob, that he doesn't really trust his bench in a way, because we always wait till the last 12 minutes where the game's effectively you're just killing the game off?
Well, it's an inch because obviously he brought McNulty on for the Fleetwood game, didn't he? But he didn't even get on the pitch yesterday, which I thought it was quite surprising, considering we've got a game at home next week against the team who's top of the league, and Wycombe play with a very physical style, so we need to have players fully fit for that game.
Right.
Do you agree that the 11 that played yesterday is probably our best 11 that we need to start against Wycombe?
To be honest, I would actually agree, because I think, although I'm not really Flanagan's biggest fan, I think next week against a team like Wycombe, set pieces are going to be crucial, and every time we get a corner kick, Flanagan always looks like he's going to get his head on it. Although I do really like Lynch as well. I think Flanagan might necessarily keep his place and Lynch will drop to the bench.
I think you've got to drop him for that game for just simple fact if Anton Fenwas starts, because Lynch has got the physical. Lynch has got the physical presence.
How many games was he banned for, Akinfenwa? Was it just one? Or?
I'm not sure. Was it a straight red or 2 yellows?
I'm not sure.
He could be out there.
I know
he might be.
He missed the last game, but I'm not sure if it's one game ban.
They might have appealed for one of the... I can't remember.
Yeah, one thing I forgot we haven't spoken about as well, the first half, John McLaughlin's assist. The goalkeeper.
That's terrible defending.
Yeah, that was awful though, wasn't it?
I mean, that was like World Cup England where it was
2010,
one ball. But
Miroslav Klose.
Gooch has still got to do the hard part, putting the back of the net.
He read it well, didn't he?
But that's terrible on their part, to let one ball go from the 6-yard box in our box to go all the way over their defence for Gooch to slot it in. That's really bad on Lincoln's part, and I expect a lot better from Lincoln from what I've seen of them.
My take on the game is that you're playing 3 matches in 6 days. It does take some recovery to play three matches in 6 days. And I mean, when I used to do a lot of running in my days, I used to run 7 days a week, twice a day, 5 days of the week. When I did a race, it took me 4 days to recover. So imagine playing 3 intense games. We did against Doncaster.
Who do you think you are, Steve Cram?
Yeah, wasn't that good. It was like...
Forrest Gump.
Against Doncaster, we never stopped pressing. And we used a lot of energy up in that game. And against Fleetwood was good as well. But yesterday, if the amount of energy we spent yesterday in the first half pressing, if someone turned around and said to you at half time, before the match, you're going to be leading 3-0, you take the hands off. Someone said before the game, would you settle for a 3-1 victory? No matter how we got it,
100%.
you take the hands off. So at half-time, 3-0, we spent that much energy and that much, passion, aggression to get the ball and to get the goals, to do what we did. Probably at half-time, Phil Parkinson might have said, look lads, second half, fatigue's probably going to kick in at some point. It's more important that these players stay fit and injury-free. We've had a lot of players. We've had Dobson out with injury. We've had Ozturk out with injury. We've had Gooch out with injury. We've had Maguire out. And we know what it's like without Gooch and Maguire, how bad we've been playing. So these players are really, it's important to keep these fit. And now they've got a 7-day, 5 or 6 day rest before the Wycombe game. So for me, a lot of people on social media were saying, it's a game of two halves. Why we're going back to our old style by sitting back. Imagine playing 3 games in 6 days and trying to stay injury-free. We're the only team that played 10 players, played 3 matches in 6 days. Every other team only played twice. Lincoln changed loads of players for that match yesterday, and they regret it now for changing the players because in the first half they were all over the players, and then the second half their manager rollicked them at half time, so they're going to come out all going strong. Going strong. So for me, game of 2 halves, I thought was a fantastic result.
Brilliant. Exactly.
Yeah.
So in the second half, Lincoln came out and they were up for the second half. They just had the arses kicked off the manager. They probably got a better formation because they were all over the shop. The heads went down, the confidence was down, letting those 2 quick goals in by Gooch. And the manager's got to lift them up at half-time, done his job, got them out. Phil Pattinson probably said, they're going to come at us. Let's just soak a bit of pressure. Let's keep a clean sheet. Let's try and keep the defence, be solid at the back. We're getting them on the counter-attack. We've got 3 goals. We're not going to let 3 goals in. Let's come off. If we let a goal in at worst, 3-1, still a good result. Let's keep ourselves fit and fresh, injury-free for the next match, which is the most important thing. We haven't got a massive squad, regardless of what anybody says. Those players on the bench aren't as good as the ones that's on the park yesterday for me. So, Dean, what was your thoughts on the second half?
Second half, you've got to take into account Lincoln are in exactly the same boat as us. Them play 3 games as well.
And they changed a lot of players yesterday. We didn't.
But even their fans were saying them have got a tiny squad as well. Their squad's not big, and our quality should outmatch their quality for some of the players we do have. Because their players have probably came from League 2 or conference and stuff like that. I don't know much about their players, but them have played the same, and we should know they're 3-0 down. We should know they're going to come out with. So that's a perfect opportunity to go and score another goal because they're going to come out with. So they're not going to be as structurally defensive because they're going to have to go for it. They need to get a goal. And when that goal went in, was it about 60 minutes that goal went in?
61
that gives them an ascendancy. And I'm not being funny, a couple of weeks ago we could have lost that game. So for me, the second half, I don't want to see that. I want to see, obviously you don't press as much, but we didn't even attack them really.
They were knackered. I'm sorry,
but then you make the substitutions because you've got
Max Power hit the bar, didn't he? Great shot.
think fatigue did kick in the second half. I think it was Mama was saying there, you cannot play that high intensity pressing for 90 minutes, especially 3 games in 6-7 days.
But players are making stupid mistakes. Like Flanagan was mint in the first half, and then he turned to Flappy Flanagan in the second half because his decision making on the ball was atrocious. He had the ball. He could have made 2 free passes when he got the ball, but he held on to it and then they were marked. And then he had the ball for another 5-6 seconds and he just hoofed it into the corner and there's nobody there. If you want to keep the ball, knock it back to the keeper. Fine, we might go off it, but keep the ball. Don't just hoof it over there when no one is.
Well, hopefully he'll learn from his mistakes. So hopefully he'll grow from that game. I think he'll look back on that game and I think Phil Pattinson will probably have a word with him and say, look, I need to make a better decision next time. Maybe he's passed to somebody else who can do a better through ball. But I think Flanagan, for me, he's getting better as the season goes on. He wasn't that great last season, and I was one of his biggest fans who said he wasn't. I didn't like him that much, but he brings something else onto the pitch, like Jacob said, for set pieces. So long as he can defend, and he's got 2 good defenders. Remember, Willis has had a nasty knee injury as well. And Ozturk's had an awful hamstring injury. Gooch's had a hamstring injury. If you keep running full pelt for 90 minutes, one of those players will get injured.
Well, then you swap them. You've got Watmore there, bring Gooch off for Watmore. He did do that anyway, didn't he? Oh no, you brought Maguire off, sorry. Right? You've got McNulty there. I know he's very injury prone, but he needs to get match fitness as well. So you bring him off. And then you've got Grigg there. Fine, Grigg's not the best. I didn't know the rest of the bench was because we had Brandon Taylor on the bench. But you make the subs when you can see... you don't want to risk injuries, but he doesn't do that. So he's risking them. Don't get us wrong.
I thought the Watmore Maguire decision was great. I thought Maguire, give his shot, he's bold. He's had 3 games, 6 days, and it was time for him to come off. And I thought Watmore would do what Maguire was doing, was going to press higher up.
I think Maguire looked disappointed when he was coming off. Like when he first was coming off, you could see he was a bit
down.
All about keeping them fit.
But it is keeping for rainy day. I mean, like you say, we've got a massive match next week, and you've got to look after your players.
But doesn't this show though? We need to get some reinforcements now. The box gone back. Bye to Bock or to Croc. I mean, he's gone now, so now we've only got one left back. If Hume's not that, are you going to play there?
Big problem.
We've got problems.
I understand what you're saying, and the big test is we play 1 game a week against Wickham next week, and if we do the same against Wickham next week, then there's a problem. But I thought against Doncaster we pressed them for 90 minutes, apart from the last 5 minutes in the first half. Now, I don't think they could do that for 3 matches in 6 days. But I think if next week we don't do that against Wickham next week, then there's something wrong, because we need to do that next week.
If a full week's rest, they'll be fine for next week.
Excuse?
They'll be fine for next week. I mean,
let's just hope no one gets injured in training.
I think with this system we're playing at the moment, when you watch the game yesterday, what you notice with Denver Hume, when he gets overlapped by a winger, he's got Jordan Willis sprinting to go and trap the winger to help him out, which clicks. But you just fear with Denver Hume, this is his first full season in the squad. He's playing brilliantly at the minute. I thought at the start of the season he was better suited in a 4. Now he's sort of adapted to this wing back role well. You just feel like he won't be able to do it throughout the course of a season. An injury could be on its way.
I still think on their goal, and I'm bringing it up, but I think watching it back, I think Hume was too weak in the tackle. I mean, I think it was
I seen at first I was adamant that was a free kick. I went, if that happened anywhere on the pitch, or if we walked through and that happened,
he wasn't strong enough.
When I look back at he was quite weak. But I still think it was offside because the ball went forward. But we've conceded it. You get on with it. We've won the game, but we need to be stronger.
That's what I'm saying, and I'm just picking up little things. I mean, we won the game 3-1, it's fantastic. You take the positives, but it would have been class getting a clean sheet going into the Wickham game.
Because you said 3-0 to Sunderland.
No, but see, that goal could have been prevented, and our Hume's been one of our standing performers lately. He's been brilliant. Getting forward, whipping the crosses in, he's been class, but defensive side of it, he's going to get caught out. He's still defensive.
The big test, will this formation work against top of the league?
We'll find out.
We've been playing teams who are around about us, weak not weak teams, but teams who aren't up there, like Lincoln, Doncaster. They're around us. Now the big test is going to be against Wickham, against Ipswich, when we play them teams.
Well, you think the last 3 games we've had, I mean, we've been pretty good. I mean, we've looked like an half decent side. You know what I mean?
Just the team spirits there. But you just feel like against no disrespect to they're out of form, but they are top of the league for a reason, and that's purely because of the style of football that is suited to what they play with the players they have. And do you remember when we went down there this season? We got a bit I think they're the most physical team I've seen us play.
I think that's next Saturday's going to be a physical game. And I mean, I'm a bit worried about it, because I think sometimes when we play physical sides, we sometimes struggle. Do you know what I mean?
Hume might.
And that's what I mean. They'll look at Hume. They'll see Hume as the weak spot next Saturday. I guarantee you that.
Sorry, I'll start off with Jacob. So I think personally, if we had 1 or 2 injuries in the side, we'd be struggling.
Yeah.
Who would you want to bring in January, and which positions do we need to strengthen in January?
Right, so I'll start. We definitely need a cover at fullback.
Left back.
Yeah, and because I don't think although he could have, Conor McLaughlin could come back into the team and surprise everyone, I just don't think he's been the most poor out of the signings we made in the summer. It's something that just hasn't worked at all. Maybe central midfield, but obviously you look at he's recalled Ethan Robson.
Has he actually recalled him?
He's been recalled. I think that could be a massive plus. So
those 2 positions,
and obviously up front as well, because I just feel Charlie White, he puts in so much effort and physicality throughout a 90 minutes. He's not. I mean, there was rumours knocking about yesterday he was playing with a throat infection.
Maybe I heard that. Yeah.
So before I move on, who was your man of the match yesterday?
Man of the match, I would say I'll go Jordan Willis. Even moving forward with the ball, adapting to the forward play, knocking it about. He was very, very good.
So, which positions do you think we need to strengthen?
Left back is a massive. I mean, see if Hume gets injured, then we'll have to play Conor McLaughlin in left back. He can play there, but he's not the most effective in left back. We definitely need left back. I think we need 2 centre midfielders, And I think we need a striker. I mean, I think we need 4 to 5 players. Whether or not we get that is another question. But left backs, 2 centre midfielders and a striker.
Man of the match yesterday?
I was going to say George Dobson until Jacob said about Willis. I thought Willis was outstanding, and I'll go with Jordan Willis.
So Dean, your opinion on which players we need to which positions we need to strengthen?
Well, for me, you've got 3 centre backs here. If we're going to consist with this, we need another centre back at least. We definitely need a left back because obviously with De Bock gone, you've got Hume, and if Hume gets injured, you're knackered. Yeah. So you need left back. I still believe we need another right back because 09's not a right back, and a good team will figure that out, that he's not a right back. Mm-hmm. And I still believe that 09 should be in the centre because I think he'll offer a lot more of what Power does at the minute.
100%.
I will go for another centre midfielder, someone who can unlock the door like a Madison. I'd love to see a Madison come in. We definitely need a striker because for me, White and Grigg aren't doing it for me, and if you want to get promoted, you need someone who's going to score goals, and them two are not scoring goals. And I think we need another winger in case Gooch gets injured or Maguire gets injured.
Man of the match?
Dobson all day. He was everywhere. He was putting in good tackles. His passing was a lot better than what I've seen in it recently, and I just think he was all over the place. He turned into like a mini Kante. He was everywhere.
Before I go to my man of the match, yesterday, apart from the game of 2 halves, was there anything negative about the game? Was there anything that you thought we could improve on?
Yeah, the goal we conceded. Second half, the passing just went out the window again. For me, we weren't passing the ball like we were in the first half. Why does that need to change? The passing could have stayed the same. We didn't. We just started looking for White all the time.
Was that just fatigue? People getting tired? The mind's getting tired? The body's getting tired? Was it just? Were they getting a bit nervous, or
maybe getting nervous because I thought the crowd, like we were getting frustrated as well because we want to see what we see in the first half. We want to see that in the second half.
Just hard to keep that.
And obviously, it's hard for the players to keep that up. But as fans, we expect to see that. We expect to see we have a couple of shots on target, attacking teams, and we didn't really. So for me, the negatives we took the foot off the gas.
Yeah.
We had the game won in their minds in the first half.
Hume gets dragged out, I think, like way too easily at times. Like there's always a space on that right hand side for like a player to cross the ball. And like I think if we were up against an opposition that had a little bit more pacey wingers, then we would have been a little bit more in trouble. But
I agree. Sure. I think the only negative about the game yesterday for me really was I'm just being picky here, was not keeping a clean sheet. So I think, like you see, the first half was never going to be as good as the second half because I think the game was won in the first half. But then when they get that goal, you're thinking, do you know what I mean? Your arse is a bit, but we won the game. So the only criticism really is, like you see, I wouldn't say the Dean was saying wants to play twice in 2 halves, but you cannot really do that after such a
perfect example. I watched your video yesterday. What was it? Tranmere were 3-0 down, was it? And they came back 3-3. A game is not won in the first half. The game is won at 90 minutes when the final whistle blows. So to think 3-0 up, we're safe. No, we're not. Look at what Tranmere done against Watford. They turned it around, and that can easily. A couple of weeks ago, if we had the weak mentality we did a couple of weeks ago and won that bad form, that could easily turn it to 3-3.
I'm not theoretically speaking. What I'm saying is that obviously you would think if you're leading 3-0 at half time and you're going to win the game, I don't think the players would have thought, we won the game. I'm just saying that,
do you know what I mean? But I'm
plus Lincoln raised their game as well.
Exactly.
They will then have to go for it.
Exactly. Lincoln's going to come out in the second half and they're going to go, we can't play any worse, so they're going to have a go in the second half, which they did. And I think it was the case of, maybe it's like you see it, the 3 games in quick succession has took its toll and the players were a bit tired.
But everyone has the same schedule as we do, so it's no excuse.
Right, my man of the match, going to say Gooch. I thought he had a great game. The only downside, I'm being picky here, I seen Max Power a few times. We were 3-0 up, running to the edge of the box. I was just thinking, shoot, have a shot. You've done it this season 2 or 3 times and scored some cracking goals. Just take a shot, man. And finally, in the last few minutes of the match, he took a shot from outside the box, hit the crossbar. I would like to see him, if we are leading 2 or 3-0, take a pot shot from outside the box. When was the last time we had a shot from outside the box?
Do you think that Power is... We're not getting the best out of Power because we're playing him too deep?
Yeah.
For me, I think when he's round the box, because I'm not being funny, every time he has a shot, it's either on target, just past the post, hits the bar, he scores. He's got a good shot. For me, his strength isn't his passing game and his distribution. His strength is his power, and he's got a powerful shot like his name. He's very powerful.
Max Pointer's power.
Does Parkinson see more potential in Dobson going forward, so Power's a more holding midfielder?
Yeah, but I would say Dobson, it should be swapped because Dobson doesn't have that shot.
They might do that.
Well, you'd like to think so, but I think Dobson just runs forward anyway, and Power's like, I've just got to sit there.
I think Dobson's got the legs to one Power, and Dobson can run around all day.
The example was, do you remember that goal Power scored at Peterborough last season? That was just slightly on the angle of the box. Like, he found some room and he just fired it straight into the far corner.
The one he scored in the cup this season.
Yeah,
the one he scored at home as well. He can strike a ball, and a player like that should not be sitting in front of the back three. Sorry, like,
maybe he's getting wasted by his.
He is. I think that's why he's getting the criticism he is, because we're not seeing when he first came in. Remember when he first came in, he was scoring goals. He was in the box. He was on the edge. He scored headers in the box. You don't see that. You don't see that power anymore. Yeah. Since he got them red cards last season, he hasn't been the same player what I seen at the start when we first got him.
One of the fans yesterday asked me to ask this question. I'm going to ask us all. What's your opinion on the Sunderland fans yesterday? Do you think they were quieter than normal? Do you think they did really well in the second half, trying to get the team rose up? Do you think it was, like, I know the way fans always sing is it's a library, but do you think that we were quite quiet yesterday than normal? Or do you think we were just content because we were leading 3-0?
I think, again, it falls to the first half. I thought atmosphere was alright in the first half, but the second half was just a bit flat, because I think even the fans think, well, surely even Sunderland can't throw this away, so it was a bit flat, the atmosphere. But I thought, one thing I will say is the Lincoln fans have come with 3,200, absolutely tremendous.
It was actually nice to see that part of the stadium actually crowded up.
Full,
and someone made a point on the interviews, why are they stuck all the way up there? And I agree with them. I wouldn't want to be all the way up there, man. You want to be amongst it. You don't create atmospheres by sticking away fans up there and is it the south? No, it's the north.
North upper.
The north upper, because there's no really atmosphere in the north upper. All the atmosphere is where in the south. Yeah. I used to like it when them used to be in the south, and then you had the southwest, and then the other side. The atmosphere is just dead. But they say it's for like security reasons, but there's got to be more.
It's enough from your police, isn't it? They have to say on that, like, I think.
Yeah, but well done to the Lincoln fans who come down, because it was actually really nice to see that packed out.
Brilliant.
So, Jacob, thoughts on the Sunderland fans? Were we quiet yesterday, or were we singing loud? What was it like? In your opinion?
Obviously, the first half was very enjoyable. Like, I think they got a bit of a buzz, the fact that we were 3-0 up before half time, and like died down a bit second half. But I think, like, in the fan base at the moment, there's just like a lot of uncertainty. Although, like, we're like back on track again with the performances from the last 3 games. Just like the whole what's going on, like behind the scenes with, like, was it Donald like looking to sell and stuff like that as well? Yeah.
I must admit, Donald done a very unprofessional thing yesterday.
He was at the Oxford game, wasn't he?
There was photos going around that he was down Oxford watching Oxford. Fine, he's an Oxford fan. Fair enough, got nothing wrong with that. But when your football team, what you're still in charge of, don't forget, you might have got it for sale, but you're still in charge of that club. You should be there watching the team.
So, do you think he spoke too soon about selling the club? Should he have spoke maybe after
January?
Maybe after the Oxford match. So he wasn't at Oxford. He's up here doing this, and then he goes down there and watches Oxford play. Should he have maybe waited a few weeks until he's going to show his face at the Stadium of Light?
I don't understand why he's not at the Stadium of Light. I mean, he's just it's getting this point. Like, I haven't hounded him out. Like, I don't think, like, the fans aren't them. Some people are. Some people are. But there's a lot of people still want to see Donald in. Obviously, you're not.
I would never like hound the bloke out. I mean, in the day.
For me, he should be allowed. He should be allowed. He owns it. He should be allowed in the stadium when he wants, and when he hands the club over, then happy days. Because how come we allowed the Ellis Short the pass? He was down Wembley, and everyone was happy to see him, but yet he was the one who got into League One in the first place. Why is Donald getting this harassment? Do you know what I mean? He's done a lot for the club. Let's be fair. It depends on what your opinion is of him. But for me, he's put the seats in. He's invested time, money, effort into it. Fine, it didn't go right last season, but he's done a lot for the club.
Yeah, I mean, like, I thought with that Twitter trend that came out, like, the timing of it was horrendous, because, like, we had, like, the amount of games in, like, a few space of days. It was just like, we need, like, all the backing we can, like, towards the team over the Christmas period. And I think if you're going to do that, then I think you have to assess where we are and what we've got in after the January window.
Yeah, but this will affect our January now, because Donald can easily say, well, I'm not putting any money in, I'm selling it.
Well, I was listening to the phone in on TalkSport. I think it was at BBC Newcastle. I think it was Friday night.
TalkSport.
And basically, he said obviously the club's up for sale. I thought it was a bit strange saying it when he said it. Like,
I think Donald should stay to the end of the season. I'm not handling him out. I think it's his club. And if Parkinson now goes on a really long unbeaten run, how will this look? So with a lot of fans wanting Donald out, I think it's because a lot of fans weren't happy with the Phil Parkinson coming in as the manager. Now, if the Phil Parkinson has got a united team front now, before we actually go into talk about Phil Parkinson, do you think that the McGeady situation, with him not being in the squad at all, has helped the team come together?
100%. Yeah, something's like clearly changed, and I think obviously there's talk of like Maguire was involved in it as well. Obviously we don't know the full ins and outs, but what I think has happened is he's pulled them both aside. It's had a positive effect on Chris Maguire, but not so on Aidan McGeady. And what can you do at the end of the day?
Apparently, like I say, when the whole McDonald's thing, Maguire just laughed it off, but McGeady went in the huff about it. So are you happy that McGeady will probably go in January?
If the rumours are true, then yes, but obviously it's just like there'll be periods like towards the end of the season where, not necessarily like if he was still here, he won't necessarily be starting games, but will do like miss his quality when we need it most. Like he can change like the game on just a flip of a coin.
Before we went to pot, the last game I think before McGeady came in was against Tranmere. Where he didn't play against Tranmere, did he, McGeady?
Yeah, the 5-0.
Did he come on, or did he play?
I'm sure.
Because wasn't Gooch playing and Maguire was playing?
I'm pretty sure McGeady was playing. Like,
I'm not quite sure now.
I could be wrong.
McGeady played against Burton. He scored the penalty, didn't he?
Yeah. But I think after the Tranmere thing, I think that's when something was happening in the changing rooms. I think now, as soon as for me, it's no coincidence. As soon as McGeady's up for sale, we're unbeaten in 5 games. Unbeaten in 5 games. So, what's your thought on McGeady's situation?
Well,
I know it's all. We don't know the ins and outs 100%.
We didn't have a show. I mean, but it just makes you wonder. I mean, 5 games unbeaten in the last 3 games. We have looked a total different team without. I mean, it just makes you wonder what was going on in the dressing rooms, on the training pitch. You know what I mean? Like everybody's thinking now, was he the bad? Was he the cause with the bad apple? It just makes you wonder.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, it's like. It's ironic how we're playing. The players look like they're all pulling together now. They're putting effort in, commitment, determination. And that wasn't there 5-6 games ago. I mean, it was like the whole squad was deflated, and something's just changed. It's just makes you wonder what has changed.
I mean, Maguire could have came in after his first game since the McDonald's situation. The fans could have been against him, but the fans, when he goes to take his corner, they're all cheering him. They're all right behind him, and he seems pumped up.
He's putting the graft in, Maguire. I mean, you see that second goal yesterday was that was just pure graft, determination. I mean, could you see Maguire doing that a few games ago? No, I can't.
And he's looking fitter as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. So much changed in that squad. It just makes you wonder.
McGeady didn't play.
McGeady didn't play. So he didn't play against Tranmere. We win 5-0. Gooch was playing, Maguire was playing. Gooch got injured. McGeady came back in. We didn't win another game, I don't think, until McGeady was dropped again. Then we've gone 5 games unbeaten. I might be wrong. So what's your take on it?
For me, McGeady was not the same player what we had last season. And you're right. A flip of a coin can be amazing, but when was the last time we've seen that? For me, I think ages just took hold of him now, and he's not even the best player in League One anymore. Like all these teams who want him, for me, I'm thinking why? Why do you want him? Fine, because he played in the Champions League and Europa League like years ago. What's he done since then? He's been relegated from the Championship. He's been dropped from the Premier League. Now he's in League One, and why? And fine, he had 1 good season in League One, but he's done nothing since. So for me, if it benefits a team, bye McGeady. Do you know what I mean? Because everyone says when McGeady's on the pitch, it's the McGeady show. Pass it McGeady. McGeady will do it, and often enough he never did. So for me, I'm happy. If it benefits the team, I'm happy to see him go. Good luck to the bloke, and he's in the last stage of his career. Go to America. You know what I mean? Do
I wish him all the best.
But
the
nightmare scenario is, say, if a rival club for promotion in League One comes in for him, they get him, and then starts performing straight away.
But I don't think anyone could afford his wages.
Nah.
I mean, we're just that sounds thingy, but we're just swapping for Madison.
Heartbeat. Madison for McGeady. Easy, yes.
Right, so we're going out to Phil Parkinson. There's a lot of people already, before he even had a chance to settle in the side. I know he played a few matches, played a lot of cup matches. This is when McGeady was kicking about. We lost a lot of games, we drew a lot of games, and a lot of people straight away wanted Parkinson out. And it's everybody's opinion. They all have a right to say what they want to say and do what they want to do. It's their life. But for me personally, I think he should be there for the full season. I think now he's beaten in 5. I think Parkinson has actually got a club together, the team's united together. He's actually gotten them play really good football, really high. When's the last time we saw high pressing football like we saw the last few matches? Exactly. You would never see that. I never saw that under Jack Ross. I'm afraid if anybody ever saw that.
Too late back.
So, what's your thoughts on Phil Parkinson, Jacob?
I don't think he's the right man in terms of long term, but like for me, like looking back on like his time since he's come, like it was for me the Gillingham game where we got beat 1-0 down that like completely changed it for me, because I didn't know how, like I just thought he wasn't going to change like the style of play at all. Like there was going to be no changes, nothing was going to similar football, like hoof ball up the pitch, like slow moving the ball to get into the box. And I just didn't see like it working at all. And I think we need, like at the time, like someone like a club legend like Kevin Phillips to galvanise the dressing room. But like as we were touching on, something's happened where it could have been McGeady's being asked to go, and that's just completely changed it.
If McGeady was playing those matches, I can't remember now, but everyone's heads could have been down. Everyone could be worried about this, that and the other, not thinking and concentrating on the plan that Phil Parkinson wanted. He couldn't implement his plan because people were trying to hinder it during the match, or in between half time or pre-match and post-match. So your thoughts now? You think he should be given the full season?
Yeah, I think to the end of the season at least. I think what we have to remember is he's currently working with most of the players Jack Ross already had there. And like
that's a good point,
going into the window now, this is when he's going to be judged properly.
Put his stamp on the squad.
Yeah.
Hey, Sean?
I mean, I'm not one for like chopping and changing managers. And I have said like a while ago that didn't look very good. But I mean, I've seen signs the last 3 games. Like there's something there with that squad and the manager now. I see signs maybe that well, can actually do something this season. I'm not saying we're going to get promoted, but we'll just look a better side now. And is that the manager? Is that the players? I would just like to see. I mean, I would stick with them at the end of the season and just see where we're getting. You know what I mean? It's my view. Like,
Dean? I'm not going to be a hypocrite here. I still don't believe he's the right man for the job. I still don't. But if he keeps winning games, I can't say anything. I want him to prove us wrong. I want him to prove me wrong. I don't think he's good enough. I want him to prove us wrong to say he is good enough. But if he keeps winning, I can't complain. But if the team goes back down to what it was, then I can say
it's mad how things has changed though. Like, because I was like,
but is that not more the players? Because the manager can only influence you so much. But now the players are turning up.
I was swinging. Definitely. I was swinging towards. I put my hands up. I was thinking, I don't think this bloke's the right man. But now I see the last 5 games, especially the last 3, something's changed, and you think, well, there's actually signs of improvement here. There's actually good signs or good going forward with Parkinson.
An interesting thing to refer back to, I remember Stuart Donald came on the radio just after Jack Ross got the sack. He was saying, I'm not necessarily looking for a manager that fits the right bill going long term. He said, what I'm looking for is a manager that's going to get us promoted.
That's what we need.
Yeah. And let's be fair, Phil Parkinson wasn't on any of our lists apart from yours, because you said second. You said you'd rather have someone in Parkinson, because you said Parkinson was a safe pair of hands. But for me, Parkinson was never there for me.
It wasn't for me either. It wasn't for me.
I don't think it was for many people.
I think he was the one that only really wanted the job out of all the options that were out there. Yeah,
that's bad when Phil Parkinson.
Although it is sound pretty bad. Although did we really even go in for Stendhal at all?
I think we did.
I wish we did though.
I made a video a good few weeks ago now, basically called Parkinson's Problems, and I did discuss in that video. I thought there was something wrong with the team. There was some bad, something going in there. There was some players that weren't playing for Parkinson, and we don't know what went on in the discussions between Stuart Donald and Phil Parkinson. Phil Parkinson might have said, "Yes, I will get you in the top 6. I will get you. I will sort out this squad, get the rotten apples out." And we don't know what Stuart Donald said, but if it works out now and Phil Parkinson goes on a fantastic run, gets us in the playoffs, or even in the top 2, that will make Stuart Donald, the whole Stuart Donald thing, Donald out tweet, that will make it look a bit funny, a bit strange, a bit weird.
Question. If Parkinson gets to the playoffs, gets to the final, and gets beat, do you keep him? Do you sack him? You've got that dilemma, what we've done with Ross. What do you do?
I do believe it depends who owns the club. If Stuart Donald can't afford to bring anybody else in because he's under a 2.5-year contract, and Phil Parkinson can still improve the side, I'm not sure, but I think
he'll have to go. Unfortunately, I think there'll be too much deflation.
We don't want to make the same mistake with Jack Ross, getting rid of him 10 games in. I think if he failed, because the prerogative now, the objective, promotion. You don't get it, you failed, you're sacked. That's how it should be.
What I said was I'd give Phil Pattinson the full season, and then I would like Kevin Phillips to come in. That's what I said before, and I'll stick by that. Unless Pattinson gets us promoted, then you can't sack a manager who gets somebody promoted.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So Jacob, we all actually, at the moment we're in 9th place, we're 1 point behind the playoffs, which is like
with the game in hand as well.
Yeah, we're only 6 points behind second place. It's realistic.
Game in hand as well.
Game in hand.
We've got Wickham.
Wickham's
we win a couple of games. We win a couple of matches. Touch wood. We win a couple of games like we've just done, and we stay unbeaten for another 5 matches. We could be in the top 3 or 4.
We're getting excited now.
Where do you think, hand on heart, we're going to finish this season?
I mean, it just sums up how awful this league is, isn't it? There's Wickham. I think they're one of the most out of form teams in the league at the moment, and they're still top of the table.
And Peterborough.
It's just dropped right off, haven't they?
Yeah.
And Peterborough.
So where are we going to finish, Jacob?
So this is how I think we're going to go on a brilliant run now to the end of the season. I think it will go to the last few games where we could get automatic or finish playoffs, and I think we'll sadly not make automatic. It will be playoffs, and looking beyond that, I think we'll get to the final, but then I'm unsure.
You know what, right? Do you know how I used to say I don't rate Rotherham? Rotherham's up there. I've got a feeling it's going to be Rotherham in the final, man. If we got there.
I mean, Michael said the finish in the top 6.
Imagine.
So where are we going to finish, then, Dean?
Right.
I'll go third.
For me, it comes down to a lot of things, right? I don't think we're going to get anyone in January because Donald's selling the club. So there's one. We will get a couple of injuries. You can't go injury free the way we're playing at the minute, pressing. No. Someone's going to get injured. Yeah. Once we lose them key players, that's when the bad results will happen. So for me, the squad depth's not there. So for me, we're not going to make the playoffs. Unfortunately, I want to be wrong so badly, but this is Sunderland, and this is what happens to Sunderland every single year. So for me, we're going to miss out on playoffs. Just my opinion.
I want to be spontaneous and I want to be ambitious, but it is Sunderland, so I think we will finish in the playoffs. I was thinking there, 6 points off automatic, so Wickham on Saturday, it looks so different. But I just can't see us finishing in the top 2. I think we will get in the playoffs. I've got a good feeling now. It's just all changed in the last 3 games. I think we look like a side what can go places.
So do you reckon the way we've been playing that's playoff? We were in relegation form. Now would you say this is like playoff form now?
Maybe it's that system we're playing now is just starting to gel, and the players are pulling together now, and the manager's things are all starting to fall into place now. Sorry, mate.
I said last week before the Fleetwood match, there's no way we're ever going to go down. There's no way we're getting relegated.
I think that was taking it too far. I think from some of the fans,
no way. I think the way we are now, whether we get some decent players, and I'm not quite sure whether, like I say, Donald's got some money. He says he has, so we have to believe we'll get some players in. I think if the current team stays fit, which is highly unlikely, but hopefully we have a bit of run of luck and we stay injury free with these players, and we do bring some players in that can actually replace these players. I think we have to reach for the stars and go for second place. I think we're definitely playoffs the way we are at this moment in time. Phil Pattinson has this team actually playing for the team, for Parkinson, for Donald, and for the fans the most. The players, you understand how much it means, the passion for the fans. They want to win games of football now. The high pressing, the fans absolutely love it. We're 6 points, man, behind second place. There's loads of games to go. Why not dream we can get second place?
Why not? Yeah. I mean, I know that's... To be honest, like you say, look at it, we're starting to play well now. We're only 6 points off automatic. Things can change if we get on the run now. It's possible. I just don't want to jinx us.
But you know how bad it can get very quickly, very sour.
It's mad at the Gillingham game, when we got beat down there, we couldn't say that goal in the 93rd minute, and everybody was deflated, and it was Donald out this, that and the other. But now it's just all changed. We're playing well. We're pointing off the playoffs. We're looking like a decent side now.
It's all about players who want to play for the manager, who believe in what he says, and actually believe in themselves, and the confidence is high.
Having a good run in the second half of the season for a team in this league is vital.
Oh, massive.
Because I remember Charlton last season.
Luton as well. Luton when they just went on a run, didn't they? Charlton as well.
Ran away with it,
Quickly move on. Which players are going to leave in January?
Well, obviously McGeady for starters. I think McGeoch, might have been told he has to find a new club now.
I think McGeoch.
Maybe one or two might go out on. I think if a loan offer came in for Grigg, like just to take him off the wages a little bit, we will take that. Yeah.
Steve Parkin says Will Grigg's absolutely biting at the bit to get back into the side. He's training really hard.
He would have come on yesterday if that was the case.
Good point. That's a good point. Good point.
Dean?
Right, who I see leaving? Well, McGeoch's definitely gone. He's not even on the bench anymore. He's gone. Yeah. He could have been a hell of a player, but we just haven't seen enough of it. So for me, bye. Right, you're gone. I'm hoping McGeady goes. I'm hoping, but I'm just hoping someone will pay the money for him or get his wages. I think we need, if anything, we need to wrap up these John McLaughlin's contract, Luke O'Nien's contract. We need to get them contracts signed, done and delivered. I can see Grigg going, because for me Grigg's never really done it. So for me to get Grigg off, I think it'd be a good thing for him and us, because you never want to see a player's career going like that. Because Grigg's obviously a nice person.
How much of money is he willing to lose on Grigg?
He's going to have to lose a lot, because no one's going to pay the amount we did. For me, I don't even think we get $1 million from these days.
You could involve a swap deal with another striker, maybe.
That's true. I'm trying to think who else is there. I think if McNulty doesn't stay fit or doesn't get a few more games, I think he could be gone.
What about Benji?
See, Benji's at this stage. Is he all hype, or is he just going to be another flop, or is he going to do anything? Time will tell, but he needs to get some game time in. Yeah. If that's because of the contract situation, get it done. Do you know what I mean? So Benji, for me, I think we might send him out on loan. Maybe.
Right, apart from the ones we've mentioned, anybody else you think?
No, I was going to see McGeady, McGeoch, Grigg and McNulty. That's the four I can see leaving. I can't see anybody else really. Do you know what I mean?
I'm trying to think back on. Well, where's this Ben Anik thing come from as well? Why do we need another?
He's training with us at the minute, and there's a chance he could be offered a contract. I think.
You've got Anthony Patterson there.
Yeah.
Ben Anik, when he was here, it was Ben Anik we had, wasn't it? No. For me, he wasn't really good as a player. And we got rid of him because that video what came out with him and Liam Lawrence and all that. We got rid of him then, and he's done nothing since. So why do we want him back all of a sudden? For me, you've got two good keepers there in McLaughlin and Burge, and you've got obviously I've never seen much of Patterson, but they reckon he could be like another Jordan Pickford if he develops properly. So for me, we don't need Ben Anik. Why do we need another contract who won't play? Use that money to sign someone else who's actually going to play.
Right, we'll quickly move on. Score predictions for the Wigan match. Would you take a 2-1 victory now, leading 2-0 at half time, and just hanging on, heartbreaking towards the end, but winning 2-1?
Snap your hand because you win the game. But would you? Wickham a hard one. They're out of form, we're in form, but teams turn up against us.
And they have no possession, 28% possession in matches. So how are we going to play against that?
They only have 28% possession, but you don't need to keep the ball to win games. That's been proven in many times.
You've got to hold on to leads and all, because the physical time exactly.
For me, it's not going to be a high scoring game. I think whoever gets the first goal is going to win. So for me, I'm going to say 1-0 Sunderland.
Clean sheet.
Aye.
Sean?
I'm going for 2-1 to Sunderland.
Jacob?
1-0 Sunderland. I'm going to say Gucci scorer.
In 1 minute.
Right.
37 minutes, 22 seconds.
In 1 millisecond.
There's always a team goes to the top of the table, then they crumble. Now, is Wigan going to be that team? I'm not saying they're going to be that team, but could be that team that actually crumble second half of the season? Have they shot the bolt? Are they going to start dropping down now? I'm going for a 3-1 Sunderland victory again.
Good in.
And now, what does Wee Philly think?
Up by Easter.
Here he is.
I'm going for 2-0 Sunderland. Up by Easter.
Now, I do wish the Wigan fans all the best when they come up. Have a great stay at Sunderland. Lincoln fans were absolutely amazing yesterday. I met loads of Lincoln fans, absolutely friendly, absolutely fantastic fans. I hope Wigan fans, when they come up, I met some last season, were great as well. So enjoy your weekend at the Stadium of Light, but hopefully you'll go home empty-handed. And if we win that match, how many points will we be behind Wigan?
3, innit?
3 points with a game in hand.
More than 3 points.
No,
Six, isn't it?
It's 6 at the minute, isn't it? I think.
No,
Second.
Second place.
we're 9 points behind Wickham, so we'll be 6 points behind with the game in hand.
So
Yeah,
get us
that's the
through.
one.
Yeah.
Right, so I want to say thank you to everybody who's watched the video. Please leave a comment, give us your discussion on Phil Parkinson's Stuart Donald situation. Before I wrap it up, anything else you want to say, Jacob?
Keep the faith. It's good times at the minute. Football's good to watch, so just live in the moment. Just keep the faith.
All the best of 2020, and our loyal subscribers, love you all. Thanks for the lovely comments as well.
Dean?
Stay tuned in, and hope everyone had a good new year, and I hope 2020 is going to bring promotion,
Happy New
hopefully,
Year.
even though I don't believe
Fingers
it,
crossed.
but fingers crossed we
Fingers
do,
crossed.
because I'd love nothing more to see we go up, because we need to get out this league.
Yeah.
So
Again, thanks for the comments and the previous Sunday Bunch videos. Please subscribe to the channel, please give this a like, and we'll catch you next weekend, next Sunday for the Sunday Bunch, when hopefully it's more 3 points to Sunderland.